If you're a freelancer and you've grabbed lunch with a client or taken a customer out for coffee, can you write this off? The answer is yes, but only 50%. And there are very specific rules about what qualifies. I'm going to break down exactly which business meals freelancers can deduct in 2026, how much you can write off, and what documentation you need to stay audit-proof. Let's start with the basic rule. Business meals are 50% deductible. Not 100%, not 0%, exactly 50%. This has been the case since the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. The IRS allows you to deduct 50% of meal expenses that are ordinary and necessary for conducting business. A $200 steak dinner with a client to discuss a project can qualify. A $50 lunch by yourself at your desk does not. Here's what qualifies as a deductible business meal. First, meals with clients or customers. If you're meeting with a current client, potential client, or business partner to discuss work, that meal is 50% deductible. Example, you meet a potential client at a coffee shop. Total bill is $25. You can deduct $12.50. Second, meals with business associates or referral partners. If you're meeting another freelancer or vendor to discuss business matters, that's deductible. Third, meals while traveling for business. If you're traveling overnight for work, conference, visiting a client, working on site, your meals during that trip are 50% deductible. You can track actual expenses or use the IRS per diem rate. Fourth, meals at networking events or industry conferences. Now, what does not qualify? Solo meals. If you're eating alone, even if you're working, that meal is generally not deductible. Exception. If you're traveling overnight for business and eat alone, that travel meal is deductible. Lavish or extravagant meals. The IRS says meals must be reasonable given the circumstances. Entertainment expenses. Entertainment is not deductible, even if it's business-related. You can no longer deduct tickets to sporting events, concerts, or golf outings. The meal part can still be deductible, but the entertainment part cannot. Example, you take a client to a baseball game and buy dinner at the stadium. The dinner is 50% deductible. The baseball tickets are not deductible at all. Here's an important change for 2026. Employer-provided meals on business premises are no longer deductible starting January 1st, 2026. For freelancers with home offices, buying snacks or meals to keep in your home office does not qualify as a deductible business meal. Let's talk about documentation. The IRS requires very specific records under IRC Section 274D. You must keep records of the amount, date, place, business purpose, and attendees with their business relationship. A credit card statement is not enough. You need to note the business purpose and who attended. Here's what I recommend. Right after the meal, snap a photo of the receipt and write, "Lunch with Jane Smith, potential client, discussed website redesign project." If you don't do this immediately, you'll forget the details. For business travel, you can use the IRS per diem method. For 2026, the standard meals per diem rate is around $74 per day for most locations, higher for expensive cities. If you use per diem, you don't need receipts for individual meals. You just need documentation that you traveled for business and how many days. Here's a common mistake. Freelancers assume they can deduct anything food-related because they're self-employed. The 50% rule applies to everyone. Another mistake, deducting meals without a business purpose. If you meet a friend for lunch and happen to talk about work for 5 minutes, that's not a business meal. The primary purpose must be business. Real-world examples. Example 1. You meet a potential client for coffee. Bill is $18. You note coffee with Sarah Johnson, discussed Q1 marketing strategy. Deduct $9. Example 2. You attend a 3-day conference. Meals total $200. Deduct $100. Or use the per diem method. Example 3. You take a client to dinner after a shoot. Bill is $120. You note, dinner with Mark Lee, discussed 2026 photography package. Deduct $60. Example 4. You buy lunch at your desk while working. This is a solo meal. You cannot deduct this. How to report. Freelancers use Schedule C, line 24B for meals and entertainment. Enter 50% of your total qualifying meal expenses. Here's what you need to do right now. First, start tracking business meals immediately. Record the 5 required details: amount, date, place, business purpose, attendees. Second, review past meal deductions. Make sure they actually qualify. If you've been deducting solo lunches or meals without clear business purpose, stop. Third, if you travel for business, decide between tracking actual expenses or using per diem. Fourth, separate meals from entertainment. Only deduct the meal portion. Business meal deductions are a legitimate tax benefit, but you must follow the rules. 50% deductible, must have business purpose, must be properly documented. If you do it right, you can save hundreds or thousands of dollars. If you do it wrong, you risk an audit. Keep good records, know what qualifies, and claim what you're entitled to. If this helped, subscribe for more freelancer tax strategies. See you in the next one.